Hey guys, this is Juno and welcome back to another account review. We are back on MC Magan's account. He did get an account review from me in the past, but he wanted a follow-up because he got a lot of improvements apparently. Per his words, he said that he was able to improve in Arena, going from P3 to G2. For Siege, he was in a G1 guild, but he moved to a G3 guild and was able to go into round 1 tourney. So that's actually a huge improvement, guys. G1 to a tourney guild. That's actually pretty insane, especially from C2 to P1. And his next goal will be to reach P1 in the actual RTA. And he really likes my KARNAL core draft, so he wants me to talk about that in this review. So from this record, it kind of shows that he did get that Arena record, he did get that Special League record, he wants that RTA record of P1. Siege is... whoa. Oh, because it has to get updated. Wow, so he actually got the tourney record this time. It's gonna be updated after the Siege tourney ends. So right now it shows G1, but the next one is gonna show G3. Good for you. We'll just go through these quickly. He has a 22-second Giants, 27-second Dragons. I wonder if this is consistent or he moved on to the Agrias team, because I think that's a lot more consistent. Actually just consistent 100% if you could get the working team. 29 seconds Abyss, doing the Steel Fortress and the Punisher Crypt. That's all great. I think this is Moses's Punisher Crypt team, right? All the R5s, which is awesome. And he has a good team for the Dreaming Fairies and also the Rune of Silent Death. Cool. Hey guys, before we start the video, if you guys are interested in getting advice and help from me and other Summoners War players, feel free to join my Discord, where the link is in the descriptions below. Also, if you enjoy my content and want to support me, become a Patreon. I want to say I appreciate all the support. Anyways, that was it. Let's get back to the video. For Dark Nephites, he has that Ming Yang and nothing else. For Light, is it nothing? It's nothing. Okay. Anything core that he's missing from the regular elements? Aya. Ooh, that's a pretty big one. Aya's a great counter pick. Great to have. You do have Layla, that's good. No Sagar. No Tiana. I mean, not that important for RTA though. Wind Monkey. Okay, I mean, he is missing some things that might be good to have, but nothing's core. For water, anything? Shizuka could be a good to have for a certain playstyle. That's Camila is a good to have for sure. Wonder what his defense was for his G2 record. This is Europe, by the way, so that G2 record is no joke. And then fire. Anything fun? Okay, the Venhan. I don't think he had Chakra either. Those two are too fun units to play with currently. No Fire Monkey. Ooh, and no Vanessa. I really wonder what he was running. Had to be like a Samath Triton type of thing, I'm guessing. I think he's running it right now, so we'll check. Rune wise, so let's see how good they are. Let's look at sub property. Well, sub property before grinding. Start with Vio. 28, 25. Okay, not that good. On slot 1, 27, 25, 25. Yeah, it looks like he doesn't have a whole bunch of fast runes. 28, which could be always a flat. Unfortunate. 28 there though. 27. Okay, slot 4 is decent, but it does get lower pretty quickly. Slot 5, 25, 25, 22. And then slot 6, 30, 1 quad. Another 28, which could be a 29. I think slot 6 accuracy is definitely usable if it's efficient enough. Yeah, it sucks that the defense percent is innate. And the other two are flats, but you did get rid of whichever substat that was to make your rune as efficient as it could be. Another 27, 23. Yeah, it does drop pretty quickly. Let's take a look at Will. 33, that's good. 25, okay, one really quick rune. 26, 25. 27, 27, 23. 28, which could be a 29, and that's a pretty efficient rune. I will strive for that 29. Get that +5. 26, slot 6, 30, another quad right there, 26, 27. Okay, 3 good runes. Despair, 28, 27, 27, 28. Okay, Despair doesn't look that quick. I mean, you'll get a few sets that are decent, but nothing like out of the ordinary over like 280. Swift, 28, 27, 30. So I guess you could make one very good set. 29 a flat though, unfortunate. 28. Okay. 25. Seeing this, getting a P1 record is not going to be an easy task. You definitely have to work for it, because I was going to say that it was going to be easy if your rune was like out of the world, but it doesn't look like that's the case. You'll have to rune your units efficiently in your box, and your gameplay, your pick and ban will all come into play to get that P1 record. A little different from Special League. I do believe for Special League, if you ban a certain unit or if certain stars are restricted, there is a very strong meta that you could play. Right, for example, the past season for Special League, if you were playing the SWC type of way, let's say you had Juno, you could ban Gang and you have like a slightly upper hand, right? Because a core counter is now banned. Let's say if you were playing Tomoe, I guess Tomoe is a little different because you usually take the Tomoe stuff if you have Gang. But let's say you just didn't think that you could contest fast cleave type of players, so you ban the Jogen again. That gives you an upper hand with your playstyle, right? Because if you know that you're weak against the previous meta, you just have to ban the core unit, which was Jogen in the past case. So yeah, you have to work for it, it looks like. We'll go into RTA and talk about it in more detail, because at least I could tell him like how to build this, what the core picks would be. For Arena, oh, it's a more Triton, interesting, with a Hacker and Lamelia. 19% defense rate in G2, which to me actually does not sound so bad, but you could tell when he got his G2 rank 49. Is it top 100 or top 50? Forgot, but it was a bloodbath. He got hit almost 400 times. He hit almost 550 times, almost a 90% win rate, and his defense rate was 15%. I wonder if he had some kind of stallish defense, but okay, cool. Does Triton have your fastest set? So more is Despair Will. Triton is Swift Will. It's not that fast. He got a G2 record, guys. Despair Will, Tricks, and finally Avant Will, Lamelia. I mean, they're fast. Like, Lamelia is actually a lot faster than I thought. But Triton's speed is not that great, unfortunately. What are you running for offenses? Okay, the dot team. And just the slow teams. Yeah, safe offenses. I don't know if this was his ending defense. I'll be surprised if it is. Let's go into World Arena, because that's what we want to talk about the most. He is in C3 right now with a 60% win rate. I mean, from your win rate right now, I could tell you that you will get P1. I think you really start consolidating your rank when you get that 50% win rate. But you only played 100 games, so many of the wins might have came when you were in C1, C2. Just keep playing, because that 60% win rate seems really good. You only have 16 units. Wow. You could tell that he's playing a different type of KARNAL game, though. It's a little different, right? Because his KARNAL is slow. It has 100 res. Not on a damage build. I don't know if I could talk about this too much, because it's a totally different gameplay. This is more of Curry SW's playstyle, right? Like the Leo. With like Angela's fine. I use it as well. But the KARNAL being so slow, it feels like that he's not mimicking my playstyle. He also has the Belial out, which I don't use. You could tell that he's going 100 res on everything. Oh man. I'm a big advocate of 100 res, but I think he's one level ahead of me right now. Because as I started playing more, I did kind of let it go. Now, do you even have the units to play what I'm doing? Because I want to pick that out for you. I'll pick out the units that I use and explain how I play it. Now I do want more because I do like a counter more. Also like a Josephine because it counters sometimes first turns, especially with the water monkey, which is still very popular. I'll pick out the water monkey at myself. I'm not gonna pick everything. I'm just gonna show like the core units that I use. Juno is a no-brainer. I use Juno all the time. Well, a lot of times. You could use Helena as well. It's a good pick. Layla, I love to pick out. Oliver. Diana. I love to play with these as well, but if they're not skilled up, let's not bring them out. Yeah. Is Layla skilled up? Ooh. Okay. We won't pick out Layla then. Sierra, also a good one. Okay, let's just stop there because that's a good addition, right? That's like 8 units right there, or 7 units. So why do I like to do this? My first pick is usually Karnal and Hagang. And when I play my Karnal game, you guys know that the speed is around plus 160 to maybe plus 170 depending on how I build him. Why is that? It's because everything has to be tuned to my strippers. I'm not going on full on second turn. I mean, there's either two ways. You go very slow, your Karnal is extra tanky, so you survive the damage output from the opponent. The problem is if they have attack bar control or like CC, if your unit gets stunned or controlled in any way, then the harder it is for you to come back. Reason why I have a very hard time playing second turn, like going full on second turn. Curry SW is a little different, and maybe for a lot of other players, it could be different for them if they have extremely efficient runes. It's just stacked with stats, and it's just out of the world. I'm talking about things all over like 120% efficiency. In rune score, I'm thinking that's like at least 230, 240, maybe even 250-ish. In all the runes. Because if you don't do that, I don't know how you're surviving the damage output and the control that the opponent is dishing out when your Leo is banned. Because if you take out the Leo, there's no speed advantage, and because your units are so slow, the opponent's units are just bound to move a lot more than you. And knowing that I don't have that kind of efficiency, that kind of crazy efficiency in the tankiness side, I decided not to run this team. That's why I go Karnal Hagang, and my Hagang's at around 270, 280 speed, and then my Karnal at least is trying to be in the 260 range mark, so that if Hagang gets to move and if Karnal isn't controlled, then I know that my Karnal is going to move, especially when the opponent already moved. But if your Karnal is very slow, let's say your Hagang moves, there's no guarantee that your Karnal is still going to move before the opponent takes another turn, because they could lap. Again, because the way your team is drafted, you don't have speed leads, and the opponent most likely will have a speed lead. So the speed difference is just higher. Yes, Curry SW has a lot more success than me. He's just a master in that second turn type of thing. But aside from experience, his rune quality is no joke. You guys might think that, wow, a 320 speed set is crazy. But sometimes you have to look at some sets like what Curry has. There's a different type of efficiency that you're going to be able to see. And it works, right? Because he constantly gets G2, G3 without any problem. So what I like to do is take Karnal and Hagang, especially if you know that you're going to be slower. And it kind of gives me the edge on counterpicking the opponent, because what the opponent wants to do in this current meta is go with Jogen in a lot of cases, or even the Water Monkey, something that strips first turn. And the Hagang kind of gives you an edge on that, right? You already picked out a counter before even looking at their pick. It's just because how the meta is formed, we know that's how it works. And then after that, if they take like Sierra Jogen or Oliver Jogen, I like to take the other speed lead because I don't want to be a lot slower than the opponent. It still gives me some way to catch up even if the opponent moves. And then my last two picks can either be something that could contest speed, like the Water Monkey, or like two counter picks because I know that I'm going to be slower. So something like the Moor, because the Moor takes a turn. Just keep in mind, if the opponent has like Water Monkey or Ethna, the Moor is not as effective unless you ban them. If there's both of them, don't take out Moor because they could stun the Moor first turn, and the Moor passive is mute. Your counter is gone. The other one is Josephine, especially against Ethna and Water Monkey as well, because they like to, what they want to do is go first turn stun a unit, and Josephine kind of blocks that, or it doesn't block it, but at least it allows you to cut, and then you could disrupt the opponent team, and then it just goes from there, right? If you're let's say that the opponent brought this out and you brought this out as a counter, it didn't get banned, then we all know that if this takes a turn, let's say the Water Monkey does stun and Josephine cuts, it all comes down to, are you targeting the correct unit to stop their combo? And if you do, if it lands, then there's a higher chance that you will win. If it doesn't, then there's a good chance that you'll lose, because then the opponent could still go out with this combo, and now you're just sitting there to survive that. But at least it gives me a chance early on, whether I outspeed or not, to contest within the turn. It's not like after all the units on the opponent's side moves and then you move, because by then you might have lost a unit and you don't want to go through that. I think it only got harder to play this kind of playstyle since Jogen got buffed and how Jogen is brought out so many times. So because it has a scroll trap, it gives the opponent attack buff, they dish out more damage, you already start with the unit gone. It is a lot harder to deal with. That's the entire reason why I go with this playstyle. But when I saw your rune quality, I'm not sure how good of a Cardinal you'll be able to make. I don't think you're going to be making anything close to mine. Maybe closer to the 250-ish range is what you're going to be aiming for, 240 or 250. I like a crit damage build. If you can't do that, go a crit rate build, and if you can't even do that, go a HP build, but strive for like 50-60% crit rate, or go full on HP and get a lot of additional damage by HP on your artifacts, because that's another way to do it. And then Hey Gang will be around the 260, and that not only Hey Gang, you want multiple AoE strippers to be around that range. So Juno is what I would propose to be around that range as well, so you at least have 2 AoE strippers. More doesn't matter, because the whole point of you bringing out more is that it gets touched so that it cuts. So even if it's the last unit that's moving in your team, if it gets touched, then it will move in front of everybody. I do like to go Rage, Fatal, or Despair Will, attack, crit damage, attack. These days I kind of changed the build to have like 70 speed so that it's not like slow, so it never takes a turn, but there is a good chance for it to take a turn if it survives. And if it's a Fatal build, I do like it with a lot of additional damage by attack, and if it's on Despair build, I do give it some more accuracy, because if you want to land the Despair stuns, you do want it to strip. And then from there, Oliver, Sierra, all being a little slower than your strippers, around the 240-250 range. Essentially, Oliver closer to that 260 range, closer to your strippers is better. And I think for the rest, it'll be close to like the Karnal for your damage dealers or control unit. There are definitely things that I don't use up here, but you know that I use the Chow for good counters as well. But I think Josephine and Shihao are good picks to have. Also Tetsuya, if you have it, could be a good pick. Diana, no question, a very good counter. I like to have these strong counters as last picks. That's why I have it picked out. Like Diana, Fang is a good counter. Leo is a good counter. So but for me, Leo isn't a pick that I pick all the time. It's only a pick as a counter most of the time. Your Samath could be a counter, right? More could be a counter. It's hard to gauge if you could get P1 without running it through swap myself. But this is the gameplay I play. It's a little different from your Cardinal game. My Cardinal is a lot faster. At least 50 more speed. And I don't go resistance, I just go full on damage. And crit damage at that to maximize that. It is squishier. I did try the more tankier one. It did survive, but when I play with it, it seems like the impact that Cardinal has when he survives is much bigger when he's on crit damage. Some people might argue then, but if it's not on HP, it's not going to survive. That's the thing. When I play with it, it does survive still. So I think it's just a lot better when it does. Now, I do think you should skill up your Layla, because your Layla is another mechanism where your entire team could still move or cut. You know why? Because if you bring out, let's say, the Shihao, and you move first, or you cut, whatever. If you move and Shihao stuns, that's a debuff. And if that's a debuff, your Layla gains attack bar. Once your Layla gains attack bar, hoping that it's around the 260 range because that's also an AoE stripper, you could use skill 2 to land the silence or stun, whatever, which allows which allows either their team to not do anything, or because they're slows, it still allows your next unit to move on your team. Reason why I like Layla, I like to bring it out, it's more of a last pick for me though, or a fourth pick, because still there are, in my mind, there are strong counters. I know people are saying that there's the cleanse block, but to be fair, like things like Juno, it's a fire unit. The chances of you landing it is not as high, even though you have high accuracy. Well, maybe not, because I heard that glancing doesn't affect that, but for me, just through experience, I don't experience it a lot where it lands cleanse block, whereas the opponent's Layla lands it on my Juno all the time, which is kind of weird. But again, I could be biased because I'm on the losing side, right? But why don't you try that if you have the rune quality? I mean, your rune quality isn't too slow. You just have to downgrade a little from mine. Yeah, keep your criteria a little lower. Don't go for the 260 to 270 range for all your strippers, for all your damage dealers. Go a tad slower, like the 250 to 240 range, and rune it accordingly, and then try the game play out, because you might see a lot more success. But I don't know. I don't want to suggest this idea to you right now because you have a 60% win rate, which seems really good. So I think you should play along with it. So don't go with my playstyle. I think you should watch more Curry SW if you want to play more of this playstyle, because it might, and if you're seeing success with it, I think it will help you a lot more. But I would advise you, if you are going that route, you want very, very high efficiency. Let's look at your runes. 207, decent, 209. Yeah, okay. So you see that these are pretty lacking, right? These are the ones that you'll start working on. Like this one's okay, I guess. Almost 200, but this one and this one, it could use more work. So you will work on that to try and get higher scores, either through a better rune or better grinds and gems. I do think the slower game you're playing, the more important it is for your runes, for your builds to be efficient. That was it, guys. I do think this account still needs to work a lot on better runes. I think they could be better. I think the grinds and gems could be better. So I'll decide whether you want to do R5 or you want to just farm a certain dungeon. I think Violent, Swift, and Will all seemed pretty similar, so just decide on which one to do. But knowing that you're playing that kind of play style, I do advise you to farm more dragons, because everything's gonna be on Vile, right? That was it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys want account reviews like this, please join my Patreon. If you guys want account improvements, join my Discord, fill out the Google form, and I will see you guys next time.